we are now going to look at some real-life metadata produced by business systems. The following slides shows the results of an analysis exercise to discover new data insights from this data. The data has been anonymized, but the final distribution diagrams still provide a good indication of the patterns of data being generated by these systems. The goal of this exercise was to search for new insights, previously unseen patterns, and to find behavioural inefficiencies to unlock gains. Over the following two slides, we shall look in detail at two areas. Firstly, call data, and then work task data to show performance patterns. The first scatter graph shows call data for a team over a 6-week period. Each dot on this chart represents a day and is plotted against a specific time of day with its corresponding performance metric. Here we have highlighted all of the calls that took place at 10 AM. For calls, the performance metric is the average time for handling those calls. Thus, the higher the dot, the longer the average call on that day took. So here we have highlighted all the calls that took on average 9 minutes to answer. We can see from this scatter graph that there's a high degree of variability in performance. On the 17th of June at 10 AM, on average calls were taking more than 9 minutes. But at the same time on the 10th of May, they were taking much less. We've even found some really high outliers. In this second scatter graph, the same pattern plays out. This time we are looking at work task data for the same time period. Again, each dot is an individual day plotted against a specific time. Here the performance metric is the volume of tasks closed at that time of day. We can see that there is a high degree of variability in performance. If we try and remove the outliers, as shown by the dotted horizontal lines, we can see the area that we need to target more often to improve consistency. Indeed, even between these dotted lines, there is a variance of 200%. The use of AI in algorithms can help smooth out this distribution and help us achieve a more consistent performance level on a more regular basis. In the future, cognitive processes will help us achieve this, as we shall see later in this talk. This analysis led to a deep dive into behaviours of staff and to attempt to identify the factors impacting performance. The first step was to perform something called a noise audit. This approach was taken from a recent behavioural science book, also titled Noise. This is an excellent read, co-authored by Daniel Kahneman, who is attributed as one of the founders of behavioural science. I really recommend it if you would like to get a deeper understanding of what impacts human decision making. In a noise audit, you take a small cross-section of the team and give them the same case to see if they all arrive at the same decision. The team do not know others have been given the case. In our example, the subject matter was insurance claims, and the team conducting the exercise were all claims adjusters. Somewhat surprisingly, we ended up with a large spread of decisions, despite the input being the same. The next step was to understand what factors were determining the judgment. Was it the individual's experience, or work location, time of day, workload, or was it the weather? Finally, we were able to take all of this insight and come up with a personalised next steps. These insights could all be automated to aid the decision-making process and optimize performance levels.